Look what you just made me do. Oh, look what you just made me do.
Hello, my name is Jessie Ray, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be creating a moon phase calendar. So what that is it is a calendar that shows the phase of the moon for whatever day that you're experiencing. So sometimes when we do mindfulness practices such as meditation and yoga and manifestation journaling or journal prompts, it's good to kind of follow the phases of the moon and to enhance that energy. So when it's time to release, to renew, to set new intentions, to reflect on intentions and that sort of a thing. So I can kind of share that along with, like, while we're doing the actual project, I will share that too. Really, you can use any materials. What I chose to use was a gold paint pen, a black paint pen, and white. And then a little silver in there too for some sprucing up on the stars. And then I used watercolor as well. Um, you can do anything for your background. You could even just keep it plain and simple on white paper and just make sure it's all labeled correctly. It may take a couple times. I would do it in pencil first. I think my biggest mistake was starting with pen because I ended up having to go back and change it probably about 3 times, which was part of the process. It was a learning and growing process. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope we create a community on this channel of creatives who are interested in diving into spiritual awakening and enhancing their already mindful practice. And I'm ruining my daughter's dreams. She just woke up. So enjoy. So you're first going to need a ruler. It doesn't matter if you're using the centimeter side or the inches side. It all depends on your size of canvas. So since my canvas was a bit smaller, I used the centimeter side of my ruler. This ruler just so happened to be 15 centimeters, which worked really well for me. Also to kind of create a balanced grid and place it toward the center of my picture. I'm drawing right over a painting that I had created. It's just in watercolor, and I used watercolor board. So here I'm marking out 12 centimeters on either side of the sphere that I painted, and I'm attaching those points to make sure that my horizontal lines are straight. Across the top, I was using the half centimeters because my ruler was 15.5 centimeters long. That worked really well. So I just put a point at every half centimeter, and that would then create the number days within my months. I also did this on the top and bottom of my grid and then connected those points in order to create straight lines. When I completed the vertical lines, I started to write in my months right down the left-hand side of my grid, and then I later went over those with pen, and I did put the numbers across the top as well, just to make sure that I had the right amount of days and all my months fit balanced in the center of my canvas. So I ended up making some mistakes at the start. If you see where January was, I accidentally was looking at the almanac calendar for December 2024 instead of changing it to January 2025. If this does happen to you, something that will kind of create a little safety net is if you create some sort of white painted moon or something that is almost like a whiteout for you, so that if you do make a mistake, you can go back and change it. If you decide to just go ahead and use pen like I did, another really smart decision is just to begin with pencil. So you make sure that you do everything right before you go over it. I will promise that you will make some mistake within this project, and it's really just all part of the process. So give yourself some grace. And if you smudge something or if you make the moon day inaccurate, just go back and change it. It's not anything to beat yourself up about. All right, so we have here our finished moon calendar. I'm just adding in some watercolor on the edges just to bring it all together. But I did want to share some tips and a little bit of why the moon phases are so important when it comes to our manifestation, our meditation, or our yoga practices. So, one tip just for the creation process is I would actually label your first quarter moon, your full moon, your last quarter moon, and your new moon within each month first, and then do your moon phases in between. That just helps create, a little bit more fluidity between one phase to the next. I chose to do these phases, those 4 phases, in gold because I do believe that those 4 stages of the moon are the ones that I focus on most when I am doing any spiritual practices. So I will start with one of my favorite phases of the moon, which is the new moon, and which is actually we're experiencing right now. So the new moon is a phase of the moon where you want to practice new intention, new beginning, visualize, and also give yourself some self-care, declutter, write out your goals as if they have already happened, or sometimes we call that scripting. So, new moon is wonderful for that. And it's really nice this time of year. Right now is December 2024. And so we're approaching the new year and it's a new moon. So, there's this really high energy of new intention, which is always just really exciting. I think starting new projects is an exciting thing, and just great for our total evolution as a whole. Another very popular phase of the moon would be our full moon. So there is this kind of a tale that the full moon makes people crazy. Really, it just exemplifies whatever emotions you're feeling at that time. So if you are feeling a ton of joy, you're going to feel an immense amount of joy. It just exemplifies what's already there. So it's a heightened energy, it's not a negative energy. Um, this is a great time to express gratitude. So, listening and releasing all your limitations. If you've reflected on any limitations for your previous new moon um, intention that you had set, if there's any limitation that's keeping that intention from coming through, then it's good to maybe express gratitude and honor that power, but then also release that limitation and do not let it have power over you, but acknowledge that it is there. The cork meditation is this awesome meditation by Abraham Hicks, I believe, started that. The cork meditation really is just visualizing a cork underneath the surface of the water and then letting it go and bob to the surface. There, you can search on YouTube and do a meditation like that. Also, Brian Scott has a great release meditation. So, those are wonderful for the full moon. If you are a crystal person, if you love your crystals, it's wonderful to take them outside into the full moon. Or if you don't want to look crazy walking around in your backyard, you can put them in the window too. I think it's just more of the significance of recognizing their existence within your home and just paying attention to them and the energies that they do have. I think that's important. You can also, during the full moon, journal on current things you are grateful for, because remember, it will exemplify or heighten the energy of what you wish. So if there's things you're super grateful for, then say those things out loud, write them down, things you want to keep and acknowledge, and you will see more of that. Um, And yeah, releasing meditation also could be a physical release by writing down what you want to release and then tearing it up, or some people burn what they want to release during the full moon. The first quarter moon is the phase of the moon that comes just before our full moon. So that first quarter is going to be, what do you want to walk the path of? Or any questions you would like answered by the universe is usually our first quarter moon kind of manifestation begins. We recognize maybe the limiting beliefs we have. Um, Maybe we want to re-raise a vibration. But really, the first quarter moon is those action steps. So remember, your full moon is all the things you're grateful for, and that heightened energy of the emotions that you're feeling and would like to keep. But the first quarter moon is kind of walking the path of what you would like to manifest, or what mindset you would like to have, or the emotions that you would like to feel, which most of the time is joy, excitement, appreciation, that sort of thing. During the first quarter moon, it's also still great to list your gratitudes because that re-raises your vibration. So you can recognize things that are beginning to kind of tug you down on that path. You had started your new moon going great, setting intentions, and now you're to your first quarter moon. How is it going? Is there anything that's kind of dragging you down that you do need to release, recognize, honor, let go? And then our fourth main phase of our moon phase calendar would be the last quarter moon. So it goes new moon, first quarter moon, full moon, and then our last quarter moon. So our last quarter moon is going to be kind of acknowledging and be mindful of your emotional needs. So if you've gone through your full moon, you gave yourself some self-care. Last quarter moon, it is kind of crucial to take some time to yourself, do some creative hobbies, release any remnants of unwanted energy, recognize any triggers that you've been kind of tangled with within that month, and that sort of a thing. So your shadow work, usually your last quarter moon happens toward the end of a month. And so that's really just a great time to kind of take a breath, acknowledge, be mindful, and then be ready for your next new moon experience. But as you can see, most of these moon phases is very, very similar as far as setting intention, guiding yourself, being aware of both positive and negative energies, and acknowledging those and honoring those. And as a finishing touch, I'm just going to go in with my white paint pen, add some stars in the sky, also add some silver down below around my sphere that I have painted. If you do create a moon calendar, please share below any things that might help our other creatives. Send a picture if you create something. If you would like access to a print of this moon calendar that I've created here, it is for the year 2025. And so if it is that year and you do want this calendar, you can go to my website at jessierayart.com. And in my shop, there's both a downloadable version, so you can print it whatever size you would like, or maybe keep it as a wallpaper or have digital access to it. And then there's also the printed copy, so you can get an 8x10 on cold press white paper, and it's a little textured as well. So it's almost like a watercolor paper. But thank you again for listening in and seeing this YouTube video. I do hope that you learned a lot about the moon phases, and or you just liked hearing a like-minded individual discuss the different phases and the different mindfulness and meditation practices that can go along with those. Thanks for joining, and I'm happy that you are part of this community. So welcome.